y'all, and welcome to In Good Company. I'm your host, Alexandria, and today I have with me Jordan. Jordan is with us today to talk about pivoting with purpose. I am so excited to interview Jordan today. I have to thank Jordan because for those of you who have been following the blog, she is the one that came up with the name for the blog, Sticks and Stones Indeed Broke My Bones. So if you have not read the blog, go over to my YouTube homepage, click the link in the bio, and hear about how I fell down the stairs and broke my leg. But that journey started this podcasting journey, and I'm just really excited to have Jordan here today. Before we get into the serious stuff, Jordan, I know you are a big reality TV junkie.
I am.
I want to know, what is your Love Island hot take? Like, what's going on? What are your thoughts? Tell us your hot take.
I'm screaming. Okay. I have lots of takes.
Okay.
But some of them aren't super hot. But I guess a hot take is Kinsey, the
Okay.
one who does all the clam slams, as we call it, aka splits.
I was going to say, what are clam slams?
She be doing the splits like just all the time, just dropping the splits, right? It's a thing. You have to watch it. You have to watch it to see what I'm talking about because you're gonna understand. Kinsey has been exploring left and right all the potential suitors that she might have in the villa. And once they got to movie night and all of her explorations were shown, she got a really bad rep. My hot take is she did nothing wrong.
Because isn't that the point of the show?
That's the point of the show. Now, I will say she hurt feelings along the way, and she probably could have moved a little bit better. There was one thing that she did that was like, okay, that was crazy wrong. You shouldn't have done that. I won't spoil it for you. But my hot take is that Kinsey did the show the correct way.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of times they know the point of the show and then they get mad when people are doing it the right way. So I have not been watching this season yet. I do plan to go back and watch it, but it sounds like she's doing it the right way, and she is what are we're calling it? Clam slam?
Clam slam. She be slamming her clam.
And I won't spoil like Jordan introducing herself, but she is currently making a workout plan for me. No clam slams in the workout, please. So, Jordan, thank you for your Love Island hot take.
You're welcome.
How do you introduce yourself these days?
Say, hi, I'm Jordan. Not play for real.
Yeah.
Honestly, it kind of depends on like who I'm talking to and where the conversation is going. So a lot of times people would say, oh, what do you do? And then I'll tell them my role. Okay, I'm a UX designer and whatnot. But yeah, I really just kind of stick to the super, super basics unless people are asking me like detailed questions about myself.
So we're going to learn a little bit more about you today. So when people hear that you are on track for the Olympics, so spoiler alert, Jordan was on track for the Olympics. What do you wish they understood about that beyond the achievement of being on track for the Olympics?
I would probably say just how hard it was. Like, I don't think people understand just how difficult going for something that big is. And more so like mentally. Physically, it's really hard, but you get used to that discomfort every single day. But mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it can really rock your world. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think it's funny because a lot of times people will, when I tell them, oh yeah, I used to run track, like, oh, high school, college, but yeah, and then I might add on, I also did it professionally as well. It depends if I kind of want to like talk about it or not.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, cool, like I ran in high school. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I know they're looking for that common ground that we can kind of, like relate on, which we can definitely to some extent. But then as they keep talking about it, sometimes it's like, okay, well, your understanding of what I did kind of stops at a certain point, which it does for everybody. If you were to tell me the things that you do at your job, I'm sure I could find some commonality. And then you'd be like, okay, now it's apples to oranges, Jordan. You know? So I think that's kind of it.
You talked a little bit about like the mental part of it and like how hard it can be mentally. How did you feel when Simone Biles decided that she wasn't going to do her events because of how she was feeling mentally?
I was so impressed. Like, I think that takes such a different level of courage and bravery to do that.
Yeah,
And I think, you know, especially with someone like Simone Biles, the whole world knows who she is. And you put all
right,
this expectation and pressure on her, whether it's, you know, it's all from a place of love. Like you just want to see her do really well. But as an athlete, when you're taking all of that in, it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But it's also because you want it more than anybody else wants it.
right,
You know, you're
right.
sitting there screaming at the TV, come on, stick the landing. And in her head, she's thought about this landing 10,000 times. And then, yeah. So I think when she did it, I was like, oh man, like that's awesome. Like that's so good for her
Yeah,
because no one talks about how hard it is mentally. And she was doing a really dangerous sport, you know.
yes,
I was just running,
yes,
which not downplaying it, but I'm probably not gonna break my neck if I'm just slightly turning left, you
yeah.
know. She's doing all this stuff 10 feet in the air. So yeah, I thought it was really courageous. I looked up to it for sure.
As someone who's recovering from an injury, I think running is very impressive because I work really hard to walk every day. So,
Wait,
no,
no,
but
but
we're going
facts. No, but for
to.
real though. I feel like people take it for granted, you know? Like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like you couldn't do basic things. Not to re-traumatize you, but you couldn't do basic things.
It's a part of my
Like,
story. It's okay.
yeah, it's a part of your story. It's part of your testimony.
It is a part of my testimony. So, we are going to get started because I know me and you can be, we
Can
have
be yapping. You're
two
right. You're right.
ADHD brain people trying to run a conversation together, and that's what you're currently seeing.
You're
Okay,
right.
so what did your life look like when you were like fully in your track career? Like, what was an average day for you in track life?
Okay. An average day for me, probably our practice started around 9. So I
Okay.
think I probably woke up at like 6:30 or 7. And then after that, it would be practice would go from 9 till maybe like 2:30. And then grab some lunch, go home, shower, do some mobility or some stretching, and then I would just watch TV or like play some video games the rest of the day. It was a very monotonous, boring type of a day, honestly. It was not glamorous at all.
And how many days of a week was that?
So, at first, before I moved down to Florida and started training with my second professional coach, at first it was 6 days a week. And
Okay.
then he dropped it down to 5 days a week. And that's because we were going through hell Monday through Friday with no type of rest or recovery. So our Saturday and our Sunday were our days to relax, unwind, and then just get right back ready for Monday again.
How so you talked about how like when you meet people who ran track in college, they try to
Mhm.
relate. How would you say the difference between college track to professional track? Like what are some of the differences?
Ooh, I would say the first thing that comes to mind is I feel like it's so obvious, but it's such a big difference is when you turn professional, all of your attention is towards that now. You don't
Yeah.
have to go to classes.
Class,
You
right?
probably don't, your training group is probably smaller. You're not going to have as many friends around you. You won't have as many distractions. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. For me,
Yeah.
sometimes I struggled with it because I found out about myself. I really enjoy being around a large group of people going for one common goal. So
Okay.
then when it turned from 30 or 40 people down to 3 people who I see every single day, I might be living with a few of them. It would drive me insane sometimes because I'm like, I just need different personalities, you know, and then you have when you're professional, really anyone can say that they're going to run professionally, but within my training group, you have people who are some of the best of the best. So everybody's elite, everybody's thinking in that same mindset. So you might run into some toxic personalities, and then you might run into
Mm,
some personalities who are like super competitive and they always want to beat you and they say they're on your side, but they're not really on your side. And then you might run into people who are always on your side, and then you kind of find some lifelong friends in there. So I would say, yeah, the biggest difference is just all of the focus is now on this one primary thing. So if you don't know how to regulate your mind around that, it can probably drive you
yeah.
insane.
That's a great point because you don't have that. I'm saying distraction, but like distraction of school
Hmm.
of
Yeah,
like
no.
this is the thing.
Yeah, this is the
This is.
thing. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely missed that distraction. I missed it a lot.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you endured emotionally and physically during your time of running track professionally?
Yeah, I would say emotionally, I struggled with a lot of loneliness. I think there was just a lot of sacrifices that I would have to make. So, our coach, he made us choose between going home for Christmas or Thanksgiving. And I'm a very
Mm,
family oriented person. And so I would pick Christmas a lot of times. But Christmas, I might only be able to get back home for about a day and a half, and then
wow.
I got to get right back on the plane to go practice, whether even if that's just for practicing on that Friday. I got to get back for that Friday practice. So I think I struggle with that a lot because, again, like I said, I don't have as many people around me. So then the second I do get to get back home or see friends and family, it was cut short. And that definitely, I definitely struggled with that. That was hard. I would say physically, it was, I didn't have as much access to like recovery things or recovery people. We didn't have like an athletic trainer on staff. I wasn't able to
Really?
get to a hot tub or a cold tub. We didn't have. I know it sounds like athletes are such little brats, but we didn't have like little like masseuse people who could come
But
help
I
us
mean, when
out.
you're going that hard every day,
Mhm.
like you need those things.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. So and you can get them. You just have to pay for them.
Yeah,
But
yeah, right.
in the track world, you don't make any money unless you're winning. And even when you're winning, you might not be making a whole bunch of money. So it might be a little bit difficult. But yeah, I would say physically, it's just I dealt with a lot of different injuries I didn't have in college, probably because I didn't have the access to those recovery elements. So I tore my
Mm,
quad, I strained my Achilles really, really bad. I tore my
like,
labrum in my hip. Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot of different injuries. I never thought I was going to be injured because I never was. And just everything kept hitting me.
when did you realize that the Olympics was within reach for you?
Ooh. Probably like what I truthfully felt like, oh, I can get this was in 2019. Yeah, 2019. I was like, oh, y'all gonna have to stop me because I'm on one. Like I'm about to take someone's spot, and I can't wait to get it. Yeah, because I think the first 3 years of my professional career, 2.5 to 3 years, I wasn't running like I thought I was gonna run. And
Okay.
so before I moved down to Florida, I was like, I'm gonna give this new coach one shot. And if he doesn't take me to where I think I can go, I'm gonna be done
Yeah.
running. I can't put my body or my mind through this anymore. I just don't want to. So 2019, I made the USA team and I was like, oh, okay, here we go. So that's when I was like, when I put that USA singlet on, I was like, oh yeah, 2020. Yeah, I'm gonna be in. I'm gonna have those Olympic rings. Yeah, that's when I thought about it. Yeah,
And it's
2020.
so funny. Anytime someone says 2020, I'm like,
You're triggered. Yeah, yeah.
how? So before we go into 2020, how did it feel to be on the USA team? Like, what did that feel like?
Whoa. It was surreal. Like, I'll never forget. It was, how old was I? I think I was going into ninth grade, and I was at our national track meet in like the summertime, and I didn't make the USA team. I really wasn't even thinking about making the USA team. I actually, truthfully, was just ready for it to be summer break. But I got, yeah, I was just like, I'm ready to hang out with my friends. But
I was
I
about to say like
saw,
real kid stuff. Like,
yeah, like
here's
I
about
just
all
wanted to go
that.
be a
Like,
kid. Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about it. I wanted to win, but it was so weird. I wanted to win, but I also was just ready to be done. So
yeah,
I don't know, 13-year. You got to talk to 13-year-old Jordan about that one. But I had what I do, I saw that a lot of people once they made the USA team, they got all the swag, the USA shirts, the backpack,
yeah.
and they sold some of the merch in like the little tents behind the track. And I was walking by with my dad. I was like, "Oh, like those are the backpacks that the Team USA members get." He was like, "Oh, is it, do you want to buy one?" And I stopped and I looked at it. I was like, I said, I want to earn it.
I
I
want to
said,
earn that.
yeah, I said I want to earn it. I said I'm gonna get it one day. I said, but I really want to earn it. And I felt him kind of look at me like a proud dad, and I was like, okay, like I just said what I felt. And
Right.
so then when they sent me all of the swag, I was like, it almost brought me to tears because I was like, Jordan. you earned it. You finally got it. So it
You're
just
about to
felt
make me
like,
cry. Like that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
No,
I felt,
that's really
yeah,
cool.
on top of the world.
So, my next question for you, Jordan, we're going to go into the 2020 shift that happened. So, can you take us back to when you noticed everything was starting to shift when COVID happened? Because I feel like it started happening and we didn't know what was going on. You're on track to go to the
Mm,
Olympics. What was
mm-hmm.
going on then?
Okay, I would say it was, I guess, probably in like March.
Okay.
And we were hearing all these different things. Like some meets were being canceled. People couldn't start traveling different places. And I think at this point, it was only two other people in my training group. So we were thinking, oh, I guess it's no big deal. Our coach also was very passionate, to say the least. And he was like, nah, we're going to do this. Like, we're not going to let this COVID whatever stop us. And then obviously COVID turned into COVID. And then we were like,
I love that.
but the track and field was still trying to keep going because we no one was sure if our Olympic trials were going to be canceled or not. So we were
Mm.
still running, but mind you, we were running in Florida heat and masks. So we were outside in 90 something degree weather, warming up with a mask on
Oh
because we
my
didn't know what was
gosh.
going on. And then you were
Yeah.
only allowed to take your mask off if you were running your race, and then you had to put it
Okay.
right back on. Yeah. So obviously we live in Florida, so some people are like, forget that, I'm not gonna do it. They kind of enforced it a pretty good amount. But anyways, to stay on task, to your question, I feel like probably closer to May is when we
Okay.
realized things were definitely shifting, and we probably were not going to go. The Olympics were going to be pushed back a year. Yeah.
So, what was like that moment for you that you're like, oh, this is real and we might have to pivot?
That came after 2021 when I went to the Olympic trials. And I had known I was going to stop. I knew I was going to stop running before COVID hit.
Okay.
Because 2020 was supposed to be my year. I said, I'm stopping whether I make the Olympics or I don't make the Olympics. I'm done. Because I was falling out of love with the sport. Wasn't
Okay.
having fun anymore. So I think maybe not the answer you expected, but yeah, I kind of knew I was gonna have to start pivoting after the Olympic trials, whether those were 2020 or 2021.
So, basically, Olympics was going to be like putting a medal on this career, hanging it up,
Yep,
and just figuring out what is next.
exactly. Yeah.
So, what did you feel, if anything, that you lost in that moment of making that pivot personally, not professionally? I know you said that you were losing love for the sport, but was there anything that you feel like you lost personally for making that decision?
Yeah, I actually really probably haven't talked to too many people about this, but I definitely felt like I lost a piece of my identity that I wasn't expecting to lose because a lot of people, you hear my parents did a great job of instilling in me, you are not just your sport. You are so
Right,
much more. They did an
right.
amazing job at it.
Which is
So
great.
I
Shout out to your
yeah.
parents.
Shout out me and Kevin. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. They did like such a good job and I believed it. I was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm not my sport. I'm all these other things," which I believed then, I still believe now. But it's different when you're no longer doing it and that's what you spent so many years of your
Much.
life doing. And then I was like, "Whoa." So it kind of felt like I was walking on like uneven ground. I
Yeah.
went from like walking on hard pavement road to walking on dry sand and everything. I'm just like sinking. I'm back up.
Yeah.
I'm sinking. Yeah. So I'll probably say that's kind of what it felt like I had lost a little bit unexpectedly.
And that's understandable. You have been doing it for so long. I mean, you talked about doing
Hmm.
it in grade school to doing it professionally. That is a really long time, and that's most longer than most people are able to do
Yeah.
their sport. So I could definitely understand that. So now we're going to talk a little bit about this pivot. So you've decided to
Hmm.
pivot. We're not going to run anymore. At what point did you realize that it was going to be an entirely different direction? Did you know when you were pivoting
Hmm.
that what it was going to be? Talk to me about that.
I had no clue. I had no idea where I was going. I decided to jump into coaching and the personal training, knowing full well I did not want to do that. I was like, I know
Why?
this is I just knew and felt since I was little that wasn't for me.
Okay.
But I also have realized about myself, I like to be the one doing the thing. I don't
Okay.
like to coach you. Like, I love to see people reach their goals. I want to be a part of that goal. Like, I want to be on the podium with you. I want to be
Got
getting the
you.
medal with you. You know what I mean?
So
I
you
don't
need
want
a
to just be on the
prize.
side.
So
I
you need a prize.
Sue me.
I'm just
God
joking.
forbid a girl loves a medal, you know? But for real, that's what I kind of what I need. And
Yeah.
but I also I love to cheer you guys on.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
also, that's just I feel like that's kind of the athlete in me a little bit.
And I get people like coach of the year and stuff.
And that don't even sound cool to me. It just doesn't I don't know why. It doesn't tickle my fancy. Yeah, I just
That's fair.
but yeah, like I said, I kind of jumped into that, and then I was looking into like I think I truthfully looked up like what can somebody get into without having to go to grad school or something
Cool.
like that.
Okay. And
To
what was your
yeah,
major in college?
media studies.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think I had I was 7 years removed from graduating college at this point.
Yeah.
So everybody's first question is always, "Oh, what's your experience?" Oh, well, back in 2015, I took a
Running.
class, right?
Running. I know how to run.
Running. I know how to run, so I have a billion and two soft skills, but my hard skills are lacking, and don't nobody want that.
Yeah. And
So
I mean, I'm laughing now, but that's a hard, like, I can imagine, I can only imagine how hard that journey is. Like, you worked so
yeah,
hard to get to something. You decide, no, that's not the thing anymore. I have to start over in this
hmm
world that you need all this experience, and the
yeah.
experience you have is not relevant to what you're trying to do.
It would be crazy. People would be like, "Oh, you ran track professionally. That's so cool." Like, "Oh yeah, like is there any opportunities you have for a job?" They just be like,
Bless your
"Dang,
heart.
okay,
Bless
bless
your
your heart,
heart.
baby." Oh well. On to the next one. On to the next one.
How I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm not gonna skip ahead because I have some questions
Okay,
about that.
okay, okay,
But okay,
okay, okay, okay.
so eventually you landed on you wanted to do UX design.
Yes.
How did we get from running track to maybe I'll be a coach or personal trainer? No, I don't want to do that. Looking up online, what can we do? How did you get to UX design? And can you explain for the people what UX design means? Because I only know what that means because I know you, but I wouldn't know what that means if I didn't know you.
Okay, valid, valid. Okay, first we'll tackle your first question. Actually, your sister is what helped me kind of get to that point. She told me to kind of look into tech. Long story short, I was like, "Tech, I don't know anything about that." She's like, "No, there's like tech jobs that aren't like super techy that you're probably thinking about." So I think I started to look up like what are some tech jobs that I can get into with my background being in media studies, kind of closely aligned with marketing.
Okay, that makes
And then,
sense.
exactly. And then UX design came up. Yeah.
And then for those of you, before you go into UX design, for those of
hmm
you who do not know who my sister is, stop right now, pause, because you're gonna come back to Jordan, but watch episode one, watch episode one,
hmm
and
hmm
hear Ariel talk about protecting your digital footprint, and then okay, Jordan, you can talk about UX design. It'll put all the
It's
pieces
very
together for
important.
you.
It'll put the pieces together. It's important. Protect your digital footprint because people scam. People scam. Where all my
Okay.
scamming at? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Let's see here. So UX design. UX design is called so it stands for user experience design. And
Okay.
kind of how I like to explain it to people is you walk into a grocery store and you see that the signs are very clear, you see that the aisles are very organized. You more or less know how to navigate throughout the store. You know where to go. If you're confused, you can look up and see, oh, the cereal's on aisle 2. Great. I know how to get there. You know the checkout is always in the front. You know who to talk to, you know how to get there, you know how to pay, all that good stuff. So I and if that layout of the grocery store is a good layout, then you're gonna have a great user experience when you walk in there.
Mm,
If you walk into a store like Forever 21, when there used to be Forever 21, it was always unorganized. People would leave being like, I don't know where anything was. I barely
yeah.
found anything. It was super unorganized. That's a bad user experience. So I create good user experiences on digital platforms. So,
That
i.e.,
was a
mobile
great
apps or what? Thanks.
Explanation. Oh my
Thanks.
gosh. Go
Thanks.
ahead. Go ahead. But I was just like, oh my gosh, that was great.
You're following me, right? You're following me.
Yeah, like I was
Yeah.
in the grocery store. I was at Forever 21. Like I was there.
Yeah. Yeah. You thinking big. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do that for digital platforms. So if you think about it, if we're gonna kind of stay in this food lane, if you think of like a app like DoorDash or Uber Eats,
Mm,
you it's gonna be super easy, hopefully, for you to search what restaurant you're trying to look for or the type of food that you're looking for, whether that's a sushi or Italian or Mexican. It needs to be right there because that's your immediate goal. All users,
right.
no matter the age you are, they're gonna be looking for more or less the same thing on a platform like that. So I got to make sure that's clear. Also making it clear for where you can check out, how you add things to your cart. You visibly can see, okay, I've just added 8 things of sushi in my cart. I need to see where that is. If you don't see it, you're gonna be confused. Did I add it in there? Where is it?
Right.
Did they charge me
Right.
already? Your wheels are gonna be spinning. So take the grocery store, put it into a mobile app. Essentially, that's kind of what I do
That's
with user
amazing.
research. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's amazing that like God is so good, right? So you made this pivot out of running track, figuring out what we need to do, that you were able to say, with the guidance of others and help, I want to go into tech, but be able to mesh it with your what you learned in college and all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to make that fit, and I know it probably had to be hard along the way, waiting
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
put those pieces of the puzzle together.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
it's just so amazing that you were able to find something that was a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Who were you becoming in that in between space when you were neither an athlete or a UX designer? So, like, in that waiting period, what was God doing during that time with you?
Girl, I don't know sometimes. Sometimes
Sometimes you're probably like, is God in the room with me?
is God in the room with me? Because what is going on? Yes. Yeah, I honestly, I really think he was trying to help me find my identity in him and not just in what I do,
Mm,
which is, I think, a really big lesson that he wanted me to learn.
say that
Yeah.
one. Say it again for the people.
For the people in the back,
For the
I
people in the
think God
back.
was trying to help me understand my identity in him and not just what I do.
So, for context, how long was this period of time?
From when I was able to get my UX job,
Mm-hmm.
I had an internship in between, about 3 month internship, but I would probably say it took about 2 years. Yeah, it took a while. I was able to get an intern. I had left my personal training job after about 2 months. I was able to get an internship. After that internship ended 4 months later, then it took about a year and a half for me to get the job that I'm in now. So it took a good little minute to actually get something that was solid for me.
And what were the emotions that you were sitting in as you realized, like, okay, God wants me to find who I am in Him? How were you feeling?
Angry, if I'm being honest. I think I was feeling angry. I think I was feeling like, why couldn't we figure this out before? Why do I have
Yeah.
to go through this now when it feels like I don't have as much or I don't have what I want? Like it just feels like we're twisting the knife even more. I feel like I'm already down. Why does it feel like we're pushing me down even more?
Yeah.
So I think it was just more so a mixture of like confusion, frustration, disappointment, anger, doubt. Yeah. So,
And it
yeah.
has to also be hard, I imagine. Your peers aren't having the same experience because they did not go into
You're
professional
speaking on
track.
it. You're
So,
on things. Yeah.
beyond being upset like that, this is my situation, it has to be hard
Mm-hmm.
that the people around me don't understand the exact experience that you're having
Yeah.
because they may have been in their career for a while, or even if they want to make pivots, some of
Mm-hmm.
their skills are relevant.
Yes, exactly.
So, like,
Exactly.
because even for me, I pivoted from, not that this is all at all about me, like just
It is
doing
about you.
general nonprofit work to fundraising.
Mm-hmm.
And that was hard.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was hard
Yeah.
getting my foot in the door. And when you do nonprofit stuff, you fundraise. So for
Mm-hmm.
you to
Mm-hmm.
be
Yeah.
doing something that is not relevant at all,
Yeah.
girl, you got a testimony.
Talk to me nice, Alexandria.
So during that time period where we're like sitting with God, sitting with this
Hmm.
anger,
Hmm.
how did you sense like your identity changing? Or did you sense a shift happening there at all?
That's a good question. I did feel a sense in the shift, but I wasn't sure if I totally liked it, and I wasn't sure if it was a good shift. So sometimes it felt like my competitiveness was dulling because I felt
Mm,
like I was being so, not in a bad way, but I felt like I was being surrounded by a lot of people who were like, you don't always have to be the best. You
okay.
know, you don't always have to be number one. You don't always have to go 100 and 110. And I was like, that's all I know. All I know is
Yeah.
wanting to be number one and
Yeah.
all those things that came along with it. So I was like, okay, and this seems healthy, but I also, again, going back to I want a prize, I don't like to feel like I'm losing. I don't like to feel like I'm
Yeah.
behind. And I already feel like I'm behind. How is this
Yeah.
mindset going to help me not to feel like I'm behind anymore?
Yeah.
But essentially all encompassing, it was a let go and let God type of a thing that I had to really
Mm.
trust and lean into. Yeah.
So that is a great segue into my next question. What helped you keep the faith in this waiting period? Because, yes, from personal training to
Mm-hmm.
UX design was 2 years, but how long had it been since your track career? Like, I'm in a career to
Yeah,
that
yeah,
time
yeah.
of figuring it out. So, what was that time period and what helped you keep the
Mm-hmm.
faith?
It was 4 years
Okay.
from being in track, that's my career, to doing
The next,
kind of some
yeah,
stuff in between to my next thing now. I got this job in 2025. So it took about 4 years, which I never thought about it in that sense. So that's probably why it felt so long. But
yeah,
what helped me keep the faith was my parents did a really good job. I would say I'm a pretty strong person. So when I do kind of break down and like get super vulnerable and crying and whatnot, my parents would always big me back up and be like,
yeah.
"No, like you know who you are, and this stuff takes a long time, and
Mm.
you're good, and you know what you're doing, and just wait, the right thing will come. I promise you, it always does."
I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I love
Yeah.
that. It is nice when parents reinforce that faith that it's there, but
Yeah.
they just need to help bring it out of you.
They
So
gotta
it's
shake it
nice
up a
having,
little bit.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so entering UX design,
Yes.
you were elite athlete. We're going to the
Mm-hmm.
Olympics.
Boom.
Then you get into UX
Yeah.
design and you're a beginner again. What did that feel like?
Ooh. Humbling, and not even in the sense like I knew I was entering it as a junior, like I know that,
Right,
but
right.
it's different when you're actually doing the job and people ask you things and you're like, I don't
I
know,
don't
I
know.
don't know what to do. Like, what? I'm new here, you know. So it it felt like I was just like trying to swim and save my life, but thankfully I have a
Mm,
really good team around me, so
that's
I
good.
didn't feel like I was sinking or drowning. It just felt like I was like, I'm in the deep end. Y'all better watch me, but I'm trying my best. So that's how it felt. Yeah.
What surprised you most about UX design?
I feel like how common sense it is, but it's UX design is very much rooted in a lot of like scientific and like psychological
I was gonna say it sounds
science.
like psychology.
It is, yeah, it's rooted in all of that, but at the end of the day, you also have to be a super empathetic thinker. And I feel like empathy more or less comes pretty easy to me. So I think what surprised me the most is how my empathy is becoming a really strong skill in the role that I'm in.
Are there any skills that you learned as an athlete that are helpful in your UX design career now?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I feel like some stuff I'm probably gonna forget because I feel like it's just so ingrained in me. I think just the normal things like hard work, just your dedication, your loyalty to something, and your loyalty to a team. I would say also just that go getter mindset that you have, coupled with being a good teammate. So you have your teammates who are like,
Good.
I'm gonna step on your head and go get what I want. But if you're a good teammate, it's no, I'm gonna get to the top, but I'm gonna bring you up with me, or I'm hoping you're gonna bring me up as well. So I think it's just bringing that good teammate mindset and also that competitive edge.
You know what's really interesting? When I got into the work world, and even in
Mm-hmm.
grad school, it made me realize that I wish I would have played a sport
Really.
because I am now a team player, but I have not always been that team player. And I realized that I never really like I was a dancer. I was a dancer sounds like I was on somebody's pole. I danced in church.
No, I was thinking
I danced in
you were
church.
like ka type dance. Okay. Yeah.
But I did that and I didn't really have to work as a team. Like so it made me realize how much I missed out on in having
Yeah.
that sport or that team. So that it was really interesting that you said that. So now we're gonna do a little lightning round. Are you ready? So I'm gonna ask you some like fast questions.
Okay,
So
let's go.
what was the hardest part of leaving a sport?
Losing my identity. Next.
One word for your transition.
I'm being honest. Hell.
One thing you miss the most.
My teammates.
One thing you would never go back to.
Running track.
So now we're going to talk about identity and redefining success. How do you define success now compared to how you defined success before? And is it different?
It's a little bit different. I think for me now it's a little bit more honed in. So I really focus on like the small wins that I'm getting at in the
Okay.
office, like, and not just like that super big goal of a win.
Yeah.
In my
So it
mind,
doesn't have to be
getting
like the whole
yeah,
race, like the end of the race, but you appreciate the journey along the way.
exactly
I
appreciating the
love
journey.
that.
Yeah, so I would say that's what success kind of looks like now.
Do you think as a society we're taught that success is linear?
Yeah, absolutely. We're also Americans, and Americans we're built and bred on always being the best and number one, and no matter what it takes. So, and you kind of in society, I feel like you have this line of what your life is supposed to look
To
like.
look like. How do you feel like that? How do you feel about that in like mental health? Like do you feel like that is ruining our society?
Yes and no.
Or do you feel like
Like
it's necessary?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it is necessary to have a go getter mindset. I think if you want something, go get it. And you have to know it's going to be hard to go get that thing, whatever it is, whether it's like something physical or whether it's something more mental. Like, you're going to have to go through something, you have to persevere through some things. So you have to learn how to get that. And like, why would you not want to try to be the best? That's my mindset. But also, on the other end of things, it's okay to not be the best, but you always want to
Right.
try your best. You know,
Yeah.
at least you try. At least you gave it 100%. And if you came up in your third place, or if you came up in your 15th place, hey, at least you did your best. Did you? Then I think the success mindset has to turn into, did you improve? No, I
Yeah.
didn't improve this big thing. Okay, but did you improve in any area? Did any area feel a
Yeah.
little bit better for you? Yeah, it did. Hey, let's celebrate that. That's a huge win for you, because 2 weeks ago it wasn't like that. So I think that's where the shift has to be.
And sometimes it's like competing against yourself versus
Yeah,
everyone else. And I think that's what you just
exactly.
captured there, which is super
hmm
important. I want you to give the people a little bit of advice for transition. What would you say to somebody who feels they're stuck between two identities?
I would say I would say you don't have to pick just one. I would say you can be a mixture of both. I would say if you feel like you're stuck between two, you probably are definitely that first one, assuming it's good things. But you also, don't be crazy. But I feel like you also can add in the things that you're learning about yourself. I would say if you feel like you're stuck in between two identities. One, you probably are definitely still that first identity. You don't have to pick between two, but you also can say, in the process of feeling like I'm stuck in between, what can I learn from both of them, and how can I create this one identity that I'm super proud of and super happy about
I
and super
love
joyful
that.
with?
So, if there's somebody who is thinking about it may be time for a pivot, how do you know when it's time to pivot versus when it's time to push through?
Ooh, that's a great question. You know when it's time to pivot when you are just not happy. You're not happy with what you're doing. You're not happy with where you are. You hate what you're doing. It's time to go. It's time to move on. Life is too short to be doing something that you don't like. Go find something that you like or that makes you smile a little bit. You're gonna be around people that make
Yeah.
you feel good about yourself. I would say if it's something that you need to push through, if you're trying to avoid something, if it's fear that's making you say, I think I want to go over here, because you're like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't want to have to go through this. It's a little uncomfortable. Stay your butt there and let's ride. Let's
Yeah,
work.
work through it.
Let's work. Let's work through
That's
it.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it
Mm-hmm.
can be hard to figure out, is it time to pivot or am I just running from something? So that
Yeah,
was really good
exactly.
advice. So I have a few more questions for you. We're about to
Okay.
close out. It's been so great having this conversation. When you look ahead, what excites you? Like, what in the
Ooh.
future is exciting for you? You stop track because it was no longer feeding you, and then you found this new career. As you look ahead, what is exciting and what is feeding Jordan these days?
You know what's funny? I was asking myself this same question this afternoon. I was like, what am I looking forward to? What am I excited about? And I can honestly tell you, I don't quite know yet. And so
Okay.
I really want to figure that out because I feel like that's something that's like missing. Because I don't really like the idea of, oh, I'm just excited to climb up the ladder in my job. That's great.
Mm,
That's cool. I definitely want to do that. But I also fell into that trap with track. And then I looked up and
yeah.
I was like, what else I got going on?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm in the midst of really figuring that out.
So I know you just had this realization today, so no pressure,
Hmm.
but what is going to be your process in figuring that out? So for me, I know I'm going to journal and figure things
Hmm.
out. What is going to be your process?
Yeah, my process is going to be having lots of quiet time. So having
Mm,
quiet time, I like to journal as a lot as well, but also just being still, being quiet, probably taking some more walks and not being on TikTok on my walks.
that sounds like a little bit dangerous.
But I love it. I must live on the edge because it brightens my day. But then I finish my walk and I'm like, you know what I mean? But when I am on a walk and I'm not doing anything, I feel like, oh, I feel refreshed.
So I'll be checking back in to see what your reflective time has looked like, because
Yes,
I can't wait
yes.
to hear about what is exciting and next for you.
Hmm.
Do you think you've landed where you're supposed to be, or do you feel like you're still becoming
I'm definitely still becoming. And I think that was part of my thought process and what's exciting for me, what's going
exciting?
to come
Yeah, yeah.
next. Yeah, I'm definitely still in the midst of, I'm not where I was back in 2021.
Right.
I'm also not back where I was in 2025, but I'm definitely still becoming into I know who God wants me to be. But I think even when you're 60 years old, you're probably still becoming
Yeah,
who
I
God
feel
wants
like
you to
we're
be.
always becoming, figuring it out, and moving forward is great. And there's
Hmm.
still more to go. So I think that's a great thing, and that's a great mindset to have. So this is In Good Company, the podcast. Jordan, you have been good company for me. You helped me figure out this creative journey. You helped come and take care of me when I couldn't walk. You've just been like a really good friend to me. So I want to know, on this journey of this pivot, who has been good company for you?
That is a phenomenal question. Wow, that's so
You know, girl, I
sweet.
try.
Let's see here. Who has been good? I've had so much good company. Okay, I would say my parents have been great company for me.
Yeah,
I
shout
would
out to them
say
again. Shout
shout
out to them.
out big time. They've been great company. My one of my best friends who I used to run track with, Paris, she has been great company for me. She also went through a lot of the same things, so we got to talk.
Mm,
She was able to empathize with me, so I didn't feel so crazy.
yeah,
That was great. And of course, I would say my sister has been great company as well. She
we
also
love a
kind of went through
sister.
some things. Yeah, so it's like, it's nice to kind of get some advice from an older sister. And then your sister Ariel,
I was about
she
to say, if you didn't say her, I'm gonna
I was
call her
about to
after
say
this
her.
and say, cut her off.
Yeah, I would say she definitely listened to lots of rants and just being upset, confused. She heard all of my emotions. So yeah, she was definitely great company.
That's what you better say. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun. As always, I enjoy talking to you, going on our little tangents, and most importantly,
Hmm.
laughing.
High
If
key,
y'all don't have
high key.
somebody in your life that makes you laugh, go find you one.
Go find you
And
one.
just know, Jordan, we might need to come back on here and do a little jokes for the people and have a little comedy special for the people.
I agree wholeheartedly. I agree.
So we maybe have Jordan back so we could do a little. Alexandria and Jordan comedy special. But thank you so much, Jordan, for being on here today. And thank you all for listening and being in good company with us. Can't wait for you all to come back next time. Bye,
I'm gonna
everyone.
text her.